What's the first thing you plan to do?
Go hug my son.
Mr. Govan, you haven't smiled all this week, but obviously you have a lot to smile about. Just tell me just about what you're feeling in right now.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling of getting your life back.
Well, I feel like, man, whatever you do wrong must come back around in a circle. Just like you know what I'm talking about? If you did wrong and everybody know it's blatant, the truth is out in the open. You sent that type of energy towards the young Dolph way, and you got young Dolph knocked off. I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who said the whole, supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder.
Looks like CMG is crumbling right before our eyes. For years, people whispered about cracks in Yo Gotti's empire, but now those whispers sound like straight-up sirens blaring across Memphis. Stan G, one of the most respected voices from the city, went on No Jumper and said out loud what many have been too scared to even hint at. Yo Gotti might actually line up his own artist, Blac Youngsta, and this ain't coming from random trolls online. Stan G has been face-to-face with the streets, even sitting down with the same folks connected to the young Dolph case. That gives his words way more weight than just internet gossip. So when Stan G makes a claim like this, it ain't just messy drama. It's a chilling warning. During that No Jumper sit-down, he didn't sugarcoat anything. He flat out said, the same energy Gotti aimed at young Dolph is what got Dolph taken out. And if Gotti was willing to go that far with an enemy, why wouldn't he keep that same darkness for someone inside his own camp if things spiraled out of control? Stan G even went as far as labeling Blac Youngsta a send, the guy Gotti pushed to handle the reckless business, the beefs, the wild stunts, and the dangerous music videos that other rappers wouldn't dare put their face on. At first, that kind of chaos kept CMG hot in the streets, but now with the Dolph case still heavy in the air, Stan G says that same role is making Youngsta look less like an asset and way more like a liability.
I put out a story, the other day I put out a story, Young Ma had ended up catching a Rico, you know what I'm talking about, and I put out a story, an hour later the news ran to sign.
And in Gotti's world, one thing is crystal clear. Liabilities don't last long. Fans caught on quick. This wasn't some random trip down memory lane. This was a flat-out warning. Stan G's message was loud and clear. Watch your back. He even reminded folks that whatever energy you put out always circles back around. And with the way Gotti moves right now, Blac Youngsta's so-called loyalty could be the very thing that puts him in the crossfire. That's when things started looking real shaky for CMG. For years, CMG looked untouchable. Yo Gotti had the dream roster. Moneybag Yo was running up the charts. Blac Youngsta kept the label buzzing with his wild antics. And then Glorilla exploded onto the scene almost overnight. From the outside, they looked like one big family, winning together, supporting each other, no cracks in sight. But lately, that picture ain't holding up anymore. Moneybag's buzz slowed down heavy. Youngsta's energy dropped off, and now it seems like Gotti's eyes are locked only on Glorilla. And even she's under crazy pressure because she's the only one really keeping CMG alive right now. Instead of family vibes, it feels like a survival game. Who's really safe in this camp? Then came the move nobody missed. Blac Youngsta quietly yanked CMG out of his bio and started dropping captions that looked a whole lot like shots. Not long after, Stan G stepped in with that chilling warning.
Hell, at this point, because you lost all the his last artist is Glorilla. She doing crazy because he putting a crazy bag behind Glorilla.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So Glorilla, she gonna shine regardless right now. But when he go over there and dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere he go to, like the Fed watching. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy over there, that boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close.
Suddenly, it wasn't just trolling anymore, it started looking real. Fans are connecting the dots too. CMG doesn't feel solid like before. Every post seems shady, every move feels suspect, and all that talk about loyalty? Yeah, it's not hitting the same anymore. To really see why things are so tense between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta, you gotta rewind the story all the way back to young Dolph. That's where the whole storm started. Years ago, Gotti tried to sign Dolph, but Dolph turned him down flat. From that moment on, it was war in the making. Instead of letting it go, Gotti started blocking moves, throwing shade, and trying to slow Dolph's career. But instead of killing his momentum, it only made Dolph shine brighter. That's when the beef turned deadly serious. Diss tracks, public shots, and real street tension came with it. And right on the front line, Blac Youngsta. He wasn't just rapping slick bars. He was out there in the neighborhoods, filming reckless videos, pulling up like he had something to prove, doing things most rappers wouldn't even dare to risk. At the time, people brushed it off as part of his wild image. But looking back, it was way too reckless. Even Stan G called it a straight-up federal move, because Youngsta was putting himself in situations that could only bring unwanted heat straight back on him and CMG. So when Dolph got taken out in Memphis, all eyes locked in on CMG instantly. Even if nothing was proven directly against Gotti or Youngsta, the streets had already made up their mind. And once your name gets tied to something that heavy, it don't matter what the courts say. It sticks forever. That's the dark shadow CMG can't outrun right now.
It's like this, cause bro, it's like, what, if you so gangster, why the f you rapping? Why you ain't out there killing? You need to go do some murders, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're a killer, go kill shit. You right here on this stage for, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it like, so many people want to be rappers, and so many people I ain't no rapper, I'm a street. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much bullshit. So I had to wonder to myself like, what the f am I? You know what I'm saying? All these be lying like they this and they did. But what I had to really think like, what am I? And I'm like, I'm not a rapper. Cause I like rapping, but I'm telling my side, but I really like entertaining.
And that's exactly why Blac Youngsta isn't looking like an asset anymore. He's looking like a walking reminder of something the label just can't escape. There was a time when Blac Youngsta was CMG's ultimate wild card. He kept the label lit with non-stop antics, clowning on Instagram, flexing stacks of cash, pulling crazy stunts, and always turning the energy up whenever Yo Gotti needed it. Fans saw him as the ride-or-die soldier, the one who'd go to war for the team no matter what. But Stan G flipped that whole image on its head. In his eyes, Youngsta wasn't just being loyal, he was being used. He straight up called him one of the biggest sendouts in Memphis, basically saying Gotti would send Youngsta to handle the dirty work, the beefs, the dangerous stunts, while Gotti sat back and kept his hands clean playing the calm boss role. And when you really look at how things went down, that description fits almost too perfectly. At first it worked. The wild energy had people glued to CMG. But after Dolph's death, all those reckless moves stopped looking funny and started looking flat out dangerous. Instead of being the spark of CMG, Youngsta turned into the one holding all the baggage. Every diss, every graveyard stunt, every reckless pull-up, people tied straight to him. And now, he's gone quiet. Stan G even said he's in hide mode because the Dolph case is still floating heavy in the streets. And that silence makes him look finished. To Gotti, that screams liability, the kind of liability that could bring the wrong spotlight at the worst possible moment.
Long time. See, it's a long story behind Blac Youngsta. See, Blac Youngsta was hanging with one of Gotti's enemies before he got with Gotti. Okay. So Blac Youngsta is somebody who just jump around for the money. He's just a send out. He one of the biggest send outs from Memphis. They're just keeping it.
And here's where it gets even clearer that something ain't right. Blac Youngsta has gone viral more than once for stripping CMG out of his bio and claiming independence. Fans go crazy every time, speculating on whether he's really done with Gotti. Usually, he pops back up around CMG like nothing happened. Right after all that tension hit the surface, and with Stan G's warning hanging heavy in the air, Blac Youngsta started dropping long emotional rants online. And trust me, these weren't random posts. He was calling out fake CEOs, fake big homies, and fake brothers. All titles people have thrown at Yo Gotti before. He even wrote about being done with fake love, fake loyalty, and putting trust in the wrong people. If that ain't a shot at Gotti, then what is? What stood out even more was how raw and emotional those posts sounded. Youngsta opened up about losing friends, being isolated, and realizing that no amount of money could protect him from being touched. That doesn't read like some rapper clowning around. It reads like a man who knows his life is in danger, and the timing? Way too perfect to brush off. While fans were already whispering about CMG crumbling, Youngsta basically confirmed that things weren't sweet behind the scenes, even if he never mentioned Gotti by name. And everybody caught the message.
Hey man, y'all rich tell them bitch what it is, bro.
YPN shit, y'all fly niggas,
Look,
CMG
big
shit, y'all rich niggas, heavy count shit.
Nah, I would never f them broke ass. Like, shit, when I was broke, why would I f them now they broke? It ain't my fault you broke. You weren't playing on me. I'm telling my mom you. Ooh, I'm pregnant. Ooh, my shoe just fell out. Ooh, my head just fell out. Ooh.
The thing is, Yo Gotti has always branded himself like a mob boss. His whole name comes from John Gotti, and he leans into that mafia image hard. So when Youngsta started calling out fake CEOs, Gotti fired back in the slickest way, dropping mafia-coded bars over Jay-Z's Dynasty intro. That wasn't just a track, that was a flex. A subtle reminder of who holds the real power and who calls the shots. But here's where it gets scarier. When you live by mob-style rules, breaking rank isn't just disrespect, it's betrayal. And betrayal in that world, it doesn't end clean. That's why after Young Dolph's death, the tension between Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti didn't just stay whispers anymore, it turned into something everyone could see clear as day. After Dolph was taken out, the streets immediately started pointing fingers at CMG. Even Yo Gotti's own brother, Big Jook, got picked up and questioned by police. And more recently, the alleged trigger man, Hernandez Govan, just walked free after being acquitted. In case you missed it, there's video proof floating around everywhere. Now think about it. The last thing Gotti needed was someone in his own camp making light of the situation. But that's exactly what Blac Youngsta did. He dropped a video at a gravesite, standing right beside a headstone with Dolph's last name on it. Then he doubled down, posting reckless stuff online like he couldn't care less about the backlash. To Youngsta, maybe it felt like him staying loyal to CMG.
The only reason I didn't do it, like I could have went over there and got with Gotti and got the co-signer and sped my whole process up. But at the same time, I couldn't do it because I had too much of my own money and too much of my own time invested into it. So it wouldn't have made sense for me. You see what I'm saying? And man, it's like, that's Memphis, bro. That town is too small. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, if anything, if he wanted to do something, I wanted to do something, bro, it's like, let's do it. That town is small.
Showing he was still ready to ride no matter what. But to Gotti, that wasn't loyalty, it was poison for business. Fans caught on instantly. What once looked like loyalty now looked like straight-up recklessness that could drag the whole label into the dirt.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad to hear that.
It's just Memphis one of them cities like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you pay attention, it always been a artist at the city saying, I'm the king of Memphis, I'm the king of Memphis. That's why it done been so hard for other artists to pop out and take off because everybody want to be that I. The big one is just me. You know what I mean?
From that moment, the cracks between them weren't whispers anymore. They were loud and impossible to ignore. And like I said before, CMG just doesn't look as solid as it once did. Moneybagg Yo's momentum slowed down. 42 Doug got tangled in legal trouble. Youngsta went silent. And Stan G even admitted Gotti can't move like he used to. There's way too much heat on him after Dolph's death. Right now, the only artist still keeping CMG afloat is Glorilla. But let's be real. One star can't carry an empire forever, and the fans know it. Instead of fans asking who's next to blow, now everybody's asking who's next to fall out. And this is where the fear for Blac Youngsta gets very real. Because Yo Gotti isn't just some rapper, he's connected. Stan G spelled it out clear. Gotti's got ties in high places. If he decides someone's career is done, it's done. If he wants legal headaches for someone, he's got the power to make that happen too. So when Youngsta shades Gotti online, it's not just rebellion. It's playing with fire. In Gotti's world, being a liability doesn't just mean losing your spot on the label, it could mean losing everything. Let's be honest. If Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta really go to war, it's not just going to be a rap beef. It could turn into something way uglier, way faster. Gotti moves like the president of Memphis. Money, influence, and connections that stretch far beyond the studio. If this turns violent, it's not just rappers trading diss tracks. Families, friends, whole crews could get caught up in the crossfire. And on the other side,
become well regarded. I mean, Sean Jay-Z Carter speaks very highly of you, right? I mean, Steve Stout speaks very highly of you. You know, I can't find a person that says anything bad about Yo Gotti, and they always say how smart you are, how focused you are, and a lot to get into about your business personality.
Blac Youngsta is no pushover. He's reckless, emotional, and fearless about speaking his mind. That makes him unpredictable. And when you mix unpredictability with Gotti's mob boss energy, you've got a recipe for disaster. Fans are already bracing for the worst. Nobody wants to see another tragedy like what happened to Dolph. But with Youngsta calling out fake CEOs and Stan G warning that Gotti could flip on him, the writing on the wall is hard to ignore. If they don't fix this, CMG isn't just risking losing one artist. It could lose its entire legacy. So the real question isn't whether CMG is falling apart. That's obvious. The question is, how far will Yo Gotti go to keep control? Because if Stan G's right, Blac Youngsta might be standing on the edge of something way darker than just rap beef. And that's it for today's breakdown. What do you think? Will Gotti and Youngsta patch things up, or is this headed for disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you next time. It's not just going to be a rap beef. It could turn into something way uglier, way faster. Gotti moves like the president of Memphis. Money, influence, and connections that stretch far beyond the studio. If this turns violent, it's not just rappers trading diss tracks. Families, friends, whole crews could get caught up in the crossfire. And on the other side, Blac Youngsta is no pushover. He's reckless, emotional, and fearless about speaking his mind. That makes him unpredictable. And when you mix unpredictability with Gotti's mob boss energy, you've got a recipe for disaster. Fans are already bracing for the worst. Nobody wants to see another tragedy like what happened to Dolph. But with Youngsta calling out fake CEOs and Stan G warning that Gotti could flip on him, the writing on the wall is hard to ignore. If they don't fix this, CMG isn't just risking losing one artist. It could lose its entire legacy. So the real question isn't whether CMG is falling apart. That's obvious. The question is, how far will Yo Gotti go to keep control? Because if Stan G's right, Blac Youngsta might be standing on the edge of something way darker than just rap beef. And that's it for today's breakdown. What do you think? Will Gotti and Youngsta patch things up, or is this headed for disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you next time.